Welcome to the Real Family Therapy Podcast right here on 94.1 FM WFNU LP St. Paul. The phone number to know to get involved with the show, 651-313-5125. Just so you know, WFNU is a volunteer-run station made up of many different community voices. Each program expresses one aspect of that diversity, not the views of WFNU or Frogtown tuned in as a whole. Y'all got to excuse my tardiness. We 9 minutes late, but I just kept running my mouth instead of starting the show. Just like every week on the Real Family Therapy Podcast, I'm joined by two of my favorite people in the world. We got Are You Serious? And we got Dad on the line. Both are here. How y'all doing today?
We doing fine.
I don't like that. Are you serious? Suspect. Okay, let's start off this show the same way we start off every episode with news that nobody really cares about. And this week, we were just recently talking about it, so let's start talking about just some of the news that came up. We was going to get into Paul Pierce. He recently got fired from ESPN for something that happened offline. But first, I want to start with something that I'm mad that I missed out about, and that was the versus battle with Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers. Did any of you guys check out the battle this week?
Yeah.
You watched the versus there?
Yep.
Man, so how was it? Because I listened to the playlist on Tidal while I was getting my show ready today, and I was jamming. But there's a lot of songs that I'm too young for, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily remember all of those songs. So how did you feel when you was listening? You and Mom was listening to it together?
No, I listened to it by myself. It was
Okay.
The music was good. The sounds were good. You know, the Isley Brothers, they dealt with Earth, Wind, and Fire as I thought they would, but I just thought it was not. It could have been done a little bit more professional. You know,
Okay.
as far as the sound and the tracks, because you could hear echoing, and then you could hear. So it sounded like it was something they just put together on a short notice. But I don't see how you could do that.
Yeah, because I'm like, I heard they had Steve Harvey hosted. This is the first time first of all, Versus switched up. Now they're on Triller. They're not on Instagram no more, right? Are they still on Instagram?
Yeah.
They still on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can watch it on the gram still?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I just thought they were bought by Triller, so it was on the Triller app.
They got to collaborate, but that's two different things. But yeah.
What you mean?
So maybe because I'm not familiar with, I don't do Thriller, I don't do none of that stuff. So
so them going to Triller doesn't exclude them from being on Instagram.
Okay.
It's just the app that they're using instead of Apple.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because so it's not on Apple Music anymore?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't too sure how they switched up the the versus battle, but I'm just kind of mad that I missed the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and Fire. I know all the members of Earth, Wind, and Fire, but there was just like three of them, right?
Just three.
Yeah, just three. And then Ron Isley was there. Was it Ron and his brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That Steve
so
Harvey
it was pretty good.
Level.
It was a good show, but I just had higher expectations.
I mean, Versus is just really them just playing the song. It's not about too much of performance or anything like that. It's just more or less of you guys, like people being like, oh, I forgot about that song, or oh yeah, that's right. That's really about it. Because the way that it started was Swiss Beats and Timberland were literally, one was sitting in his car and the other one was at home, and one was like, man, I got some fire. I made a lot of good songs. So he plays one of his songs that he produced. And then the other one goes back and play. And then they just started going back and forth. And that's how Versus started. So it just started with them sitting in the car on Instagram, going back and forth. And then that's when it started getting, and as it got more popular and more popular, then it became more of a bigger thing. But originally it was just, listen to this song. It's better than
Yeah,
yours. Listen
because
to
he,
this song. It's better than yours. It wasn't even about a performance really in the beginning. It was literally just them sitting down playing their
even
music.
before that, Timberland has felt like he was being disrespected a little bit by his catalog, and he
Yeah.
was calling everybody out, and then he called Swiss out. So it's like, what?
Well, because Swiss had a
I got
few.
it.
Because Swiss technically, I mean, if you want to go back, Swiss had it was a concert. I don't know what it was, but Swiss Beats and Kanye West were going beat for beat, like song for song at a concert. And then there was another one where Swiss Beats and Just Blaze were going back and forth. And Just Blaze got destroyed. So they were just going song for song. And then that's when it evolved into the what we know now, and now it's more of a theatrical performance type of thing. So
Yeah, because I'm like, Steve Harvey is hosting. That's
yeah,
crazy. I want to watch it, so I'm about to go back and watch it on YouTube, man.
yeah,
Well,
but I
Steve
think
Harvey just he's crazy about Earth, Wind, and Fire anyway. So
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was just an opportunity for him to hang out,
just fan out, yeah,
smoke his cigar, hang out, and listen to some music.
yeah. But I
So,
think
and you know, yeah, that was his vibe.
yeah, and also I think it does its job because a lot of people, like you said, like I was saying before, I mean, it more or less is remind you or put you on to something that you didn't know. So like when the producers do a lot of songs, you may not know that they're the ones that made that beat. You may not will know that they're the writers. You may not know that that person wrote that song for this artist. Or for example, you didn't know the Isley Brothers did Do the Twist and Shout. Like them two songs right there, I promise you, most people did not know that the Isley Brothers was that. That was the Isley
Hold on,
Brothers.
they did what? No, that was Chubby Checker, right?
You
Dude
know you make
Twist.
me wanna shout, put my hands up and shout. That's Isley Brothers.
yeah, a
Hold on,
lot of
what?
people did that song though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he had his version of it, and then he
Yeah,
had his version of the twist. So I mean, a lot of people,
Oh, okay.
right?
yeah, because
That's
Temptations did that too.
Yeah. But everybody had their little version.
Yeah, yeah. But as far as I mean, the Earth, Wind, and Fire is for getting up and partying kind of
Yeah.
music. Where Isley Brothers is about getting down kind of music, kind of like smooth and you know really relaxing and paying attention to kind of music. So
Hmm.
it's really more. It was kind of like apples and oranges a little bit. So because if it was like more like Isley Brothers and like uh, Bloodstones
Skylights.
or yeah,
the stylistic.
Stylistics or something like
The
that.
shy lights, yeah. That was
But
it was
No.
okay. Go ahead, do your thing. All right, now I'll see you. Uh, in other news that nobody cares, first of all, I just got to shout out Versus TV, man, because during the quarantine, that was kind of something that I was into. And one of the biggest quarantine versus battles was DMX Snoop Dogg, right? That was probably one of the one that kind of that was the one that took versus to the next level, and then everyone after that just kept getting better and better for a good like 4 or 5 run string. But DMX right now is currently in the hospital. I can't go without saying that he's one of my favorite rappers of all time. And also, it's another way for us to discuss um, that people need help. Sometimes we might think they're doing good, but if you know somebody that's struggling with an addiction, at all times you should be concerned about their well-being, um, even if it comes down to it, because they say he's overdosed and he's been in the hospital in a coma for a couple of days now. And I just hope it's not an overdose of the wrong things. Maybe he just took a wrong combination of medications along with alcohol or something. That's what I'm really hoping it is.
most likely
But
it's fentanyl.
fentanyl, yeah, and see, we all know that he has addiction to cocaine, crack. We all know that he's
Yeah, but that wasn't
a
confirmed.
wild boy. But yeah, so they don't know. Just like the lawyer came out and said he wasn't in a coma on life support. And then he came back and said, I got the wrong information. He still is on life support. So I don't know really what's going on. And I don't think anybody knows what's going on with DMX right now.
Let me look it up because I think his family actually put out a memo or note or something like that about what's going on because there was just a lot of rumors and stuff. I didn't actually get to double check it though because I was busy at the moment. But yeah, there's just a lot of people saying a whole bunch of stuff that they don't know. He is in the hospital. That's all we know, and that's all
Yeah.
we can confirm. So
So prayers up for DMX. You know,
yeah,
we all know he's somebody who struggles with his demons, but he also, you know, definitely is a child of God, and and is never shy about letting that be known. So I definitely want to send my prayers out to DMX. And if you know anybody that's addicted to any kind of drug or needs any kind of counseling, even uh, you know, sometimes depression or any of that, please seek help. Find help anywhere you can. It's simple as a Google. Treatment centers, treatment facilities. Even if you can't get them in a treatment center, they have drug counselors that are available. Ramsey County has a program available to help people. Just talk to drug counselors, maybe get in the AA program that are free. There's a whole lot of things that you can do to help somebody that needs help, even if they don't know that they need help themselves. And in other news that nobody cares about, I thought this was a kind of a sad story, but also it's amazing and it kind of tells us where we are as human beings. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the rapper Bad Baby, also known as the Cash Me Outside girl. She became famous and she made a rap career, but she was a little kid, right? So she just turned 18 March 26th. Right, she's been 17 this whole time. She just turned 18. So a week after turning 18, she started an OnlyFans page. Right, she raised over $1 million in the first 6 hours of starting the OnlyFans page, and she set a new record for OnlyFans and broke an account. Now, OnlyFans is usually reserved for what they call sex workers, people selling X-rated videos. Um, Sometimes they have other people on there doing cooking shows. Like it's all kind of
yeah.
stuff
I
that
was
you can
about to
get on
say it's a little
OnlyFans.
bit. They're trying to change it more, but OnlyFans is mostly for sexually explicit type of stuff. But it's more
Yeah,
of the yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's
That's
more
what I
sexually
mean. That's what it's
explicit.
known
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
So when this Bad Baby, who people have been fawning over since she was a little, they didn't know that she wasn't 18, and now that as soon as she turns 18, she gets OnlyFans, and she has over $780,000 in subscriptions alone within the first 6 hours. It just shows us a lot of perverts out here, man. Everybody's signing up to see something, and they trying to see this little girl, and it's sad. And I'm happy for her because she cashing in on a little pervertedness, you know what I'm saying? Because she ain't even posted nothing on the OnlyFans. You understand what I'm saying? She just opened the account and turned it on. And 6 hours after she turned it on, she made $1 million and didn't post anything. And sometimes I just
I
women
never heard of
women got it.
anyone.
Women
Never
got
heard of
it.
OnlyFans. Never heard of whoever girl you're talking about.
I
So
hope not, Dad. I hope not. I hope not. It's just the point that people are perverted and they will spend all of their money. It's like $39 a month to subscribe to her OnlyFans page. And what an OnlyFans page is, it gives you exclusive access to content. So if we as a podcast started an OnlyFans page, right? We could charge people like $10 a month to subscribe to our OnlyFans, and then we would just post exclusive content that's only available to people on OnlyFans. So that's kind of the premise of OnlyFans. So what dudes do is girls, women, it's kind of like the hustle for strippers or women selling their body mostly. I mean, there are other things that they do on there, but they mostly just, selling pictures, selling videos. You can see me in this outfit for $10. So it's just crazy. $1 million in 6 hours. Just because somebody think you finna show them a picture of you naked, man.
that's because
That's
all that's
crazy.
in the world is the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life.
Yeah,
That's
man.
all.
It's just sex sells. And they ain't never lied when they said that. All right, in other news that nobody cares about, the final segment of that before we get into our topic of the day. I wanted to talk about Space Jam and movie sequels, right? Because I just seen a trailer for the new Space Jam that came out, and people online were trashing LeBron James over the Space Jam trailer. I don't know if you seen the Space Jam trailer?
I did.
No.
No. Okay.
So
So did
does
you know
LeBron
that
James take the place of
Michael Jordan
Michael Jordan?
did?
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's been 25 years since the first Space Jam, so that made me feel really old. I just want y'all to know that. It's been 25 years since the first Space Jam. So this time, LeBron James, something happens. He got to get his son back. Somebody takes his son. He has to go into the Looney Tune land. He has to assemble all the greatest Looney Tune characters and defeat this robot to get his son back. So everybody's saying that Michael Jordan just took a ragtag team of people and beat the Monstars, and LeBron James has to recruit every best monster in the world to beat his new team. And they were just being petty about it on Twitter, saying LeBron James could never be Michael Jordan. This is another reason why Michael Jordan will always be the greatest, because he took Bugs Bunny to the championship.
Do they get like a Michael Jordan check in the mail, or does he like take their baby to daycare in the morning? Like, I'm confused, like why people do the things that they do for people that they don't even know.
I have no idea yet.
Like, we don't know Michael Jordan nor LeBron. They play a sport, a game. Literally, they play a game. I'll cheer for them, cool. But outside of that, once again, Kobe for me was my player. Everybody knows that. I had the poster in y'all's house, Dad. A Kobe Bryant. I don't even know if it's still there somewhere, but
Still here.
yeah. But it's like, for me, I was a Kobe fan, but I'm not gonna sit here and start arguing about who's better and who's worse. To me, I like Kobe. That's all that matters. I don't care what somebody else says. I don't understand why you have to compare and contrast two different people. He got a check. They said, "Hey, you want to make a movie?" Yes, I do. You saw? Yes, I am. What's the problem? I would make I would make Space Jam 3. What do you I don't play no professional sports. I'll be Michael Jordan, literally. I'll just put on a Jordan jersey and a Scully and then paint it brown and say, "Yeah,
Try to be everything.
I'm Michael Jordan and Jackson. I'll shoot the ball and bow. Give me my money. Who cares?"
Twitter was going crazy
Ain't
on
even
The
real.
big difference is when Michael Jordan made Space Jam, he was getting a good paycheck. But LeBron James doing Space Jam, he got enough money to make the movie his own self. So, it ain't about all the money for him.
Yeah, that's what
he
I'm saying.
He can't do enough to make no more money. So it's got to be something different of why he did it, other than money. Michael Jordan only did it for the money,
and the legacy. But when I seen it, it made me think about sequels, right? And that's what I wanted to ask you guys about movie sequels. And what do you think is maybe one of your favorite movie sequels of all time? Now, Coming to America was probably one of my favorite movies that came out when it came out. And they just made the sequel and released it on Netflix or Amazon. And I was very much disappointed. It was a cool movie, right? It wasn't like a bad movie, but I was just disappointed in the sequel, right? Like I didn't want to see it like that. And then you got like a movie like Friday, right? Where it's a great movie, and then you got like Next Friday, where it's like it's a good movie too. It's funnier than Friday, but it's a different movie, but it's a sequel. Or you got like Lethal Weapon, right? One of my favorite movies. But Lethal Weapon 2 is better than Lethal Weapon 1. Or Godfather.
Well,
so
I mean,
I don't know.
I think that we just need to take things as they are, personally. Like, I mean, this is just like the second movie. Just take that movie. Just watch that movie. And if you like that movie, then you like that movie. It's the same way with comparing other people to other people. Just enjoy that movie. So for me, Coming to America 2, I watched that movie. I didn't compare it to Coming to America 1. I just watched the movie and enjoyed it. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't
but
well, it ain't as funny or it ain't as bad or it ain't
it's
as
almost
good.
impossible though not to compare them. It's almost
No,
impossible
it's
not
easy.
to compare Coming to America 1 and Coming
It's
to America
easy.
2.
Trust me.
That's like Godfather 1 and 2.
That's why they name it like that too, so that the people that like the first one will watch their movie.
Yeah, but you still have to take it as its own entity though. Like you can't sit there and say it has to be better or the same as Coming to America 1 because it never will. Like you just gotta just be able to watch it. Like they just
Well,
wanted to
I
make
just
a
think
fun
they
movie
waited
as a
too late.
reference.
You know,
And
it's really too late to be a true sequel. You know, you don't do a true sequel 20, 30 years later. You know, that's a whole, like you said, that's a whole different movie then.
yeah,
But,
it's
you know,
just
like other movies like The Godfather, and then they came up with Godfather 2. Like Godfather 2 is way better than Godfather 1 to me.
Yeah, that's what
But
everybody say.
it was you could see where it sequels are supposed to, you know, go on. You know, this one left off here, and that's where sequel 2 started, where the 1 left off. That's how they're supposed to go. And then 3 started where 2 left off. But they don't do that no more because Hollywood is all about sequels. They just don't call them sequels. Every movie in Hollywood is made off of somebody else's movie.
mm.
So they just add sequel to it to get the audience, because you don't never hear them doing a sequel about a bad movie that nobody watched. You know, so well, I guess they do because I've seen a lot of like Hangover 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You
Hold
know,
on, wait.
those are
Hangover was a good movie though. I liked that. It was funny.
Yeah, but
Hangover
even
was a good movie.
like you'll take the one movie that comes to my mind specifically for sequels is Terminator 2.
Great.
Most people
Man.
didn't watch Terminator 1. I know I didn't watch Terminator 1 before I watched Terminator 2.
Yep, I did.
But Terminator 2 just stood on its own. I didn't need the Terminator 1 movie technically for me to enjoy Terminator 2. It just was a decent movie. And again, I went into the movie expecting a movie. I didn't expect, and I think a lot of times we have expectations, unrealistic expectation of movies as well. Like, do I expect an Oscar award winning performance from Arnold Schwarzenegger? No. I just expect some action, some yelling, and that's about it really. So I mean that's what I went into it to. But I think that like for me, Terminator 2 is a prime example of I ain't even watched Terminator 1. I don't even know if I've still watched Terminator 1 to this day, front to back. But I know Terminator 2. I know
Right.
Terminator 2 going forward. So I mean, for me, I think that was one of them that kind of caught me up off guard a little bit. Like, oh, okay, cool. I don't even need number one.
Yeah, I like the
Yep.
Terminator 2 too.
It's
But
the
yeah,
same with
sometimes
Godfather 2. Godfather 2 stands on its own. You don't
You
need
don't watch all
Godfather
them
1.
movies about 500 times, Pop. So I mean,
Yeah, I didn't watch them all
I remember you used to
over
go
and over again.
and rent
I
the
still
box
watch it over
series.
and
That's
over
what I'm
again.
saying. You used to go rent the box series and just sit back and get that ghetto mix of snacks with the popcorn and the
But
chip.
I've never been able to find the trilogy. They made a trilogy, you know, where they actually put all 3 of them together. But I've never been able to find it. So
What are you talking about? Like one DVD?
it's a Godfather trilogy. It's called the trilogy. So they got Godfather 1 and then they put Godfather. So they put them all 3 together so that they go in sequence in one DVD. But it's hard to find it. You can't rent it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. I've seen it maybe once or twice in the past, but I haven't seen it recently.
I have
But
to look up
I'm
the
looking for
Godfather
it.
trilogy. Yeah, about to Google
But
that
you
joint.
know, sequels are, I don't know. Sometimes the sequels are better. They should be better. I mean, if you think
Yeah,
about it,
because you have a basis to build off of.
yeah. So you know what worked and what didn't work in the first one. So why would the second one be worse than the first one? That if the second one is worse than the first, then something's wrong with the director, the producer, the writers. You know, something's wrong because you
Yeah, I
already
think
know.
I think Reggie was right. He was just trying to saying that I mean, I think he was right when he said that they have to stand alone.
Right.
Every movie has to be separate because yeah, especially a movie like Coming to America, like you said, because it was too long of a gap between the first one. And that's how I feel about Space Jam, right? It's like 25. Yeah, but I guess LeBron James has to be like
But I don't think this
he
one
should have
is
did it 10
a
years ago.
part two, right? So this is like, for example, when they
No,
do
it's not. It's
Batman,
a different one. Yeah.
right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, so they wouldn't do all these different Batman movies just because it's Batman doesn't mean that's part 4 or 5. This is just the new Batman. So this one
Yeah.
is just the new Space Jam. It's not a
Yeah.
sequel. 'Cause, I mean,
It's
they got
still
another
it's still
space.
technically a sequel. But
No,
yeah,
they
it's
got
just a
another.
new one.
No, it's not, because they got another Superman coming out, and it has nothing to do with the previous Supermans. It's just the Superman movie, and it starts from the beginning, where it gives an introduction and it talks about how he became Superman, and they'll go on and go forward, so on and so forth. So it doesn't have anything technically to do with the other one. It's just the same character or the same basis, but it's not a part two, because a part two means you're going from the last one and you're taking those same characters and those same people and you're just transitioning over to the next one. I think this movie is just a Space Jam movie, but they just redid it in this time frame.
You know what? You
And they
made me
put
think
a
about
different
Batman.
twist.
Like Batman is like from the 40s. When was
Right.
Batman made? And
But
it's
how many Batmans do they
2021.
have?
Yeah, and they
But
still
all of those
doing it.
Batmans aren't part 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's just Batman. Then
They
they
had
have their individual series, and then they start over again with a different character, and then they have that Batman again. So that's what I think this is.
Man, they had TV shows, Batman, cartoons,
Yep, same with Star Trek. Yeah,
yeah,
Star
Star
Trek,
Trek.
Next
The, ne-
Generation,
the
Star
Next
Trek.
Generation of Star Trek was the best Star Trek out of all of them. Star Trek: The Next Generation, hands down,
Yeah, I don't know.
it was
I
the
BBC
never
best Star
watched
Trek.
it.
Yeah,
I never
it was
watched
the
the
hands
Next
down.
Generation.
Hands
I liked the Kirk. He
with
was
Kirk.
cool.
Oh, the Purge.
Oh man, you need Jean-Luc Picard, Captain Picard. I'm telling you, Next Generation. All right, anyway, all right,
Yeah,
enough
read
of
the
the news.
rainbow.
Read the
You ain't ignoring read the
rainbow.
rainbow.
I can do
Ah,
anything.
okay, we got
Just
it.
take a look.
Yep, we got it.
Open a book.
Mm-hmm.
The reading rainbow. Okay. Today I wanted to talk about something, and I'm glad we at the radio station. It's going to be a short episode. I say that all the time, but this one really is because my real topic is gone. But I wanted to talk about a story that I read in the news that just recently happened and everybody's seen that relates to all of our lives in some form or fashion. And it's the Paul Pierce story. And you say, how does Paul Pierce relate to my life, right? That's what you say. So Paul Pierce, former NBA star, Hall of Fame basketball player, works for ESPN, doing the shows, giving us comments. He's on there all the time. He's great on TV. Paul Pierce is great on TV, right? But recently he was on Instagram Live and he was at a party and there were strippers and they were drinking and smoking and nobody was wearing a mask. And so the video got a little wild. Okay, the video got a little wild. They were doing a little stuff. They were basically like at a stripping party, right, at the crib. So ESPN fired Paul Pierce because of his Instagram Live video. Now he wasn't being disrespectful to anybody. He weren't using any hate speech. He wasn't doing any of that. He was just drinking and smoking and partying with strippers on his Instagram Live. And they fired him because of that. But he like, I can't lose. Of course, he rich, so he ain't tripping, right? He just do something else, right? Make another move. Plus, he got some line of cannabis coming out, so I think he's gonna kind of parlay that into the line of cannabis that he's producing. But it made me think about real life versus social media and how in 2021 they're starting to intertwine and become almost one. So how you could do something on the internet in your own personal life, your own personal time and space, how that can affect your everyday job. And I just want y'all opinion on that. You know what I'm saying? And let us hear it. And I'm gonna give you another example before I get you guys' opinion on that, on how things like that affect everyday life. So there was a story in the news that just happened maybe a month ago. A little girl was suing the school district because when she went to school, she was trying out for the cheerleading squad. She's in the 9th grade. She tried out for the cheerleading squad and they cut her from the cheerleading squad after she'd been cheerleading all through junior high school. She was pretty hurt. So she was hurt. She got on her social media, I think it was TikTok or either Snapchat, and she made a Snapchat saying she hates school. She hates her cheerleading squad. They're unfair to her, and she doesn't like her school or cheerleading squad, right? So she posted it on her social media, went about her day. A week later, the principal brings her into the school. When he brings her into the school, he brings up the post that she posted on her Snapchat, suspends her from school for, I think, 3 months for violating some kind of code of conduct at your school, talking bad about the school, right? So her parents ended up suing the school board, and they're working it on a litigation, and they're trying to determine that what goes on in your social media should not affect what goes on in your school. And the school is saying that it's hard for us to control the kids in school if we can't control their social media outside of school. So if we can't make them responsible in school for what they do outside of school, it's going to be hard to control them in school. And I had this happen to me in my own life with my son at school. He got into an argument with another little boy. They're playing video games online. Nowadays, you know, you be in your house and your homie be in his house and y'all playing the video game talking. So they got into it over the video game. My son beat him. He started talking stuff like he always does.
You say allegedly.
And the little boy,
You hear me?
no, it ain't nothing like that, bro.
No.
We ain't got to say
All right,
allegedly because
I'm
we're not
just-
getting it done.
I
So
mean,
the little dude, the little boy,
don't listen to
I
me.
ain't saying nobody's name or nothing. So the little boy posts pictures, and they're texting back and forth, right? The little boy and Aaron are texting back and forth, posting pictures, arguing back and forth over text. They get back to the school. The little boy tells the teacher at school that him and Aaron were arguing over the weekend, shows the teacher the text, and now the teacher wants to get involved and bring the issue that happened outside of school into school. So what I just want to ask is you guys' opinion on your outside life affecting, like, you know, your work or your school. Should things that you do in your personal life and your personal time affect the things that you do while you're at school or while you're at work?
Whether it should or shouldn't doesn't make any difference. The thing is that it does. It does affect. And that's because of today. This is 2021. They're commingled, especially since most of the kids over the past year have been doing school from home. So it's mixed together. So what they do on media is part of the school life now. And especially because what starts out as a at-home media thing turns out to be coming to school shooting up everybody. So they have to kind of contain it, or at least pay attention to it. Because if you don't pay attention to it, it'll wind up shooting them in their butt if they don't pay attention to it. Because so today's society, the way it is it does affect. And whether you like it or not, whether you think it should or not, doesn't matter, because it already does and it already is. And the reason why it's even more today is because of Trump. Trump put Twitter as a political way to communicate with people across the country. And it changed the political outlook of this country using Twitter as a social media. And it was supposed to be an outside of his job. But what he tweeted was comments about everything that happened politically. So, I mean, because of those things, you can't separate them anymore. You know, the only way that you can find out what's going on a lot of times with people is check their social media background, what's going on in their social media, their Facebook. That's the first thing that they look at. When police are looking for somebody, the first place they look is on Facebook, Twitter, all of these social media places. They look there for evidence of the personality of the person, because the reason why they're doing it is because they can, for one thing. And the reason why it wasn't a problem before was because it wasn't done before. Before, years ago, nobody cared about what was on social media. It wasn't a platform. But you can't take it and make it a platform for your good and then not want it to be a platform for your bad. You got to take the good with the bad. People want themselves blasted on social media to make them look good, to make a blast off of them, to make them look great and make them famous. But as soon as something gets out that they don't like, now all of a sudden, why you use my Facebook? Well, you use it to make you look good. So the same platform that you use to make you look good is going to be the same platform that's going to be used against you. So, it's mixed, so it don't matter whether we think it should or whether we think it shouldn't. That don't matter. The fact is that it is. It's already out there. It's already doing it. It's already in place right now that your social media footprint is being used by everybody, by the police, by your jobs, by your school, by everybody. So you have to be careful of what you put on it. That's your responsibility to be careful, because if you don't want it on there, then don't put it on there. If you don't want nobody to say nothing about it, then don't put it out there. That's all it is, because you can't control who looks at what's on there. It's international, it's world wide web. That's what they called it in the beginning, the World Wide Web. So people forget that. Now they think it's just me and like you're getting on the telephone talking to somebody. You ain't just talking to some, especially if you're texting. That's documentation. They can use that in court.
Literally.
Yeah, that's court documentation about everything that you said and done. So, whether we want it to be, whether we think it should or not, that's irrelevant because it already is. And the thing is, how do we deal with it? How do you deal with it? How do you got to control what your kids do on there. You got to control what you do on there, and you got to control, just like on this program we're on now. We can't say stuff on there and then get mad because somebody don't like it. It is what it is. It's out there. If you didn't want nobody to get mad about it, you shouldn't say it. That's it. If you don't want nobody to disagree with you, don't say it. Don't put it out there. That's all you can do. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Are you serious? What you think about this social media, real life entertainment?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows my theory on social media. It's a lot of lies and a little bit of truth. And a little bit of truth is what slips out that most people try to lie about. So for me, I mean, even for example, if you're applying for a job, all your social media should be on private. If you're searching for employment, you should put all of your social media on private. That's just the number one rule that I personally think that everyone should use. It just makes sense. If you're not doing the 9-to-5 type of jobs, you don't work for nobody else, then it really doesn't matter. But if your career is based off of, a 9-to-5 type of situation, then you should put it on private. Otherwise, you're going to end up messing yourself up. I mean, you got teachers that are getting fired, or a kid got kicked out of school because his mother was on the OnlyFans joint. You know what I'm saying? He was a private school though. So I mean, they can do what they want. That's not what they want to represent their school. So that's what they can do. And I think a lot of people have a misconception of what like freedom of speech is and stuff like that. Or you can say what you want. I don't have to like it. Freedom of speech doesn't mean I have to accept what you say. You just have the right to say it. I don't have to like what you say. You just have the right to say it. So that's why for me personally, I don't put a lot of stake into social media, because I just know a lot of it is a facade. A lot of it is a lot of a makeup stuff to make you look good. And like Pop said, when the real stuff does come out, then all of a sudden, why y'all in my business and y'all need to y'all need to stay out of my business. You the one put all your business out on the street. You've been putting your business out on the street for how long? And now all of a sudden that you don't like what's coming out, and all of a sudden it's an issue. Some people do things strictly to get attention, good or bad. They don't care. Some people just want the attention, and it's a bad thing. So they may pull you into it. Like the comment section is dangerous, because even though you don't personally post, you can write a comment that can get you in trouble based off of how you're writing and what you're structuring your comments on. So like for me, if I'm going to comment on something, it has to be based on something. I'm just not gonna comment all free willy-nilly. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that has typed a paragraph in a comment and then deleted it. Sometimes you need to get it out. So you may not even post the comment, but you'll write it and be like, man, I'm not about to give them all my energy or go through it. And then sometimes,
Right.
oh, I got time. Let's go through it. And then you go through your process of checks and balances and things like that. And the majority of the time, like for me, the only time I'll make a comment if it's like blatantly wrong, if it's racist, if it's sexist, something like that. If it's like something where like a bigot is going crazy, or like anything of that nature, that's usually when I step in and be like, all right, slow down, like you're doing too much, or that's not even true. Like a lot of times people will say stuff. I'll give an easy, safe example. iPhones will slow down your phone when you get a new phone, and they was on record and they was in the court saying that the iPhone slows down when a new phone comes out. See, I told y'all, context, brother, context. They're slowing down your old phone because your battery can't run on this new system. So what they're trying to do is slow it down so it can keep up, opposed to burning out your battery because you got this iPhone 3 and you're trying to run this new system on it that's burning the energy down. So they try to compensate for it. Or if your battery life is dead, they'll try to slow it down to save your battery life. They're trying to help you out. What they're not, but people will take the headline, iPhones, Apple gets sued for slowing down your iPhone on purpose. I told y'all they was doing that so you can buy new phones. They're actually doing the opposite. They're slowing it down so you don't have to buy a new phone because you're trying to run on a new system with an old phone, and those two things are butting heads. So they're trying to slow it down so that way you don't have to worry about buying a new phone. So I'll jump in those comments and try to be like, hey, it's not right. You don't know the context. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just talking. You're just trying to find something to justify how you feel about an iPhone, right?
Right.
So, for example, that's why I said I'll give you a safe, easy example. You can argue, you can look it up if you want, but most people don't want to look it up. Most people don't want to research. Most people don't want to go into the facts. So for me, my only issue is comments. I'll make a comment because there's something that's just, all right, man. Like a lot of people just take things out of they don't apply context, excuse me. They don't apply details. They don't apply reason. So for example, like you were saying with this situation, like I can not like social media tapping into my schoolwork on this situation, but then if your school finds out that you just donated 500 meals to the homeless, and now your school wants to give you an award because of what you did outside of school, are you going to say that same situation? Are you going to be mad? Like you have to be consistent. Which one is it? But it also depends on who we're talking about as well. So we have to realize that there's a class setup system. Trump, he didn't lose his job. He said whatever he wanted. He did what he wanted, and they still elected him. He had how many sexual allegations? He had how many things where he publicly said terrible things about people, 2 people and 4 people? But he didn't get those same repercussions that Paul Pierce did for having a private poker party with girls giving massages and strippers, because that's what it was. It was a poker party. And the poker party, they had strippers or whatever the case may be, or girls massaging them while they're playing poker, whatever the case may be. No harm, no foul, right? But to them, that was an issue.
But
So
I
yeah,
guarantee you that Paul Pierce signed a contract
right,
that explicitly tells him, you have to keep a certain image, you have to keep it clean,
mhm,
keep yourself clean, and keep a
right.
certain image for our company.
So you have to be
Now
aware of
you
what
are
you sign up
representing
for.
our company. So he probably signed a contract. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to fire him that quick. You
Right.
can't just fire somebody like that unless you already got is written in writing that if you do X, we're gonna do Y. So he need to check his contract out first. But see, most people sign contracts without reading them, and they just sign it like, yeah, okay.
But a lot of people don't know. A lot of states have no cause firing as well. I don't have to give you a reason to fire you. California, I don't have to give you a reason. I can just fire you for any reason. I can just fire you to fire you. But you got to pay me unemployment if you do that.
Right.
So that's why most
So-
people go through the other process so they don't have to pay out any money and fire somebody. But technically, if you wanted to, a lot of states is I can just fire you whatever I want, however I want, and I don't have to say why. I just don't like you. You gone.
Minnesota like that too. Minnesota.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm
Minnesota's
saying.
like that, but
There's a lot of states.
Minnesota, you got to also pay them 2 weeks salary.
And that's what I was saying. You got to pay out.
Yeah.
But you can fire anybody for any reason. It doesn't matter. But you can let them go. And there's nothing you can do about it. But that's what I was saying. But the social media connection with your real life, it's one and the same, unfortunately. And it
Yeah,
is what it
it
is. So like if
is.
my job looks at this podcast and deems this not a part of its morals and values or whatever the case may be, then they can do what they want with it. I haven't said anything crazy because I watch what I say because I'm aware of what I say. I'm not stupid, right?
Yeah.
So some people just think they can say what they want because they're in America and I got freedom of speech, as if freedom of speech exempts you from consequences, which it doesn't. And that's
Well,
the big thing.
people that say freedom of speech is all freedom of speech, they must not know anything about Miranda rights. The Miranda rights will tell you right there.
Be quiet.
Whatever you say
And
can and will be
will.
used against you in a court of law.
Oh,
For real. Be quiet.
So if it was all freedom of speech, you could say what you want when you want. No, you can't say what you want when you want. You can say what you want when you want, but there
If
can
you
be
prepare for them
consequences.
right.
Yeah, there's going to be consequences for it.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
social
so-
media and your real life do go hand in hand if you like it or not. If you
Unfortunately.
don't like it, then get yourself a situation where it doesn't matter.
Or get off social media.
If I'm on the stock market and I just make my money on stocks, no matter what I do, it doesn't matter because that's not how I make my income. That doesn't impact me in any way or shape or form. They can't stop me from selling stocks just because I said I don't like a certain group of people or I don't like certain things or I like this and don't like that or I agree with this or I don't agree with that. And that's where some people do it. Some people don't have something to lose. If you don't have anything to lose, then it doesn't matter. Do what you want.
All right, let's get up out of here today. We're gonna end this thing nice, quick, fast, in a hurry. DJ Double OG got Are You Serious? We got Dad in the building. This family, Real Family Therapy Podcast. Make sure you check us out online at Real FT Podcast, at Real FT Podcast, everywhere, streaming online. You check us out. Dad, before we get up out of here, do you got any dad jokes for us today? And,
Not really.
and
I almost forgot it was Tuesday.
man, I thought
To tell you the
listen,
truth.
I forgot it was Tuesday too. I thought it was like a weekend still. I woke up, my son's supposed to be to school at 9. We didn't even wake up until 8:51. Like I forgot all about today. Like I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday. Oh my God. I'm thinking trash gotta go out and everything. Okay. All right, well,
But I got one
just-
thing that I can say. What do you call one black man being chased by 33 white men?
I'm gonna go with
A
this.
sporting event?
The
Golf.
PGA Golf Tour, Tiger
knew it.
Woods.
I'm like,
It
oh.
should be a sporting event.
All right. Are you serious?
Oh, I gotta
Any
know.
last word?
I gotta start with another one. What do you call a black man that sells drugs?
The racist jokes.
All right. Why you got these racist
You
jokes?
not
Black
like us?
man that sell drugs.
A pharmacist?
A pharmacist. Ain't nothing racist about that.
I'm just
It's
saying.
just that
Like,
people hardly ever think of a pharmacist. You
that's
know,
what I
be
think.
a pharmacist.
It would be, Reggie would be the one to think of the answers to that one too. That's genius. All right. Yeah, you got any last words to get up out of here today? Are you serious?
Nah,
Nah.
just leave me
Stay
alone.
black.
Let me be. Leave me alone.
Leave.
Y'all get your
leave-
health insurance.
Dad,
Anybody
you
out there
last
ain't got
words?
no health insurance, get some health insurance. And life insurance.
Yeah, you heard her. You heard her.
Life insurance too, right?
Yep.
And
Don't
AAA.
Don't be making people have a GoFundMe page just because you died. Now
Yeah.
somebody else got to GoFundMe to bury you. Nah, get some insurance while you're young. It's cheap and you can get a lot of it.
While we were talking, I just got a text from Global Life Insurance too. So yeah, y'all better get y'all insurance. I got an email from Global Life. Get y'all's insurance to life. All right. DJ Double OG, Are You Serious Dad? It's been a Real Family Therapy Podcast, episode 13. We is in and out real quick. Make sure you follow us online again, Real FT Podcast. Everybody on the radio, man. I'll see y'all on Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Make sure you tune in from 8 to 10. DJ Double OG live on the ones and twos. Everybody else, man, I'll see y'all next Tuesday.
Peace out.